Hello and welcome to Revsportz. The India-Australia series has become absolutely interesting with Australia winning the first one and India winning the second one after 18 years defeating Australia at home and close to 4 years that India defeated Australia in ODIs. A fantastic effort, a commanding effort from the team. The third ODI is in Firozshah Kotla, and I am here in Delhi. Of course, we'll bring you the practice, press conference, everything, but that's from tomorrow. Today, let's first, talk about the 5 positives that came out of yesterday's second ODI victory. I think the first, of course, we have to say Smriti Mandana's form. I mean, how good was she threading those small gaps, 10 to 12 meter gaps between fielders, choosing particular deliveries to hit. She was hitting big as well, went for sixes, 12th ODI 100, soon catching up on Meg Lanning. Fantastic batter, but the important part is the kind of form that she's in. First ODI, she scored a 50. A run out probably stopped her from scoring her 100, you never know, but at least there's a 50 and there's a century in this series. So she's in commanding form. One more match and then we are into the World Cup. That's why her form will be absolutely important at the top. Now, yesterday, another positive from the batting unit definitely was Deepti Sharma's role at that number 5 position, where generally Jemimah Rodriguez plays. Yes, of course, you can always say that Deepti could not really accelerate towards the end, but I thought she began very well. And those 40 runs actually ensured that India did not have an absolute collapse, because yes, Australia lost by 102 runs, but had India been bundled out for 230 or 240, we might have seen a completely different Australian approach. So I do think that not only run-wise, impact-wise, Deepti Sharma's innings of 40 runs was significant. Kind of shows Deepti's batting ability. Maybe she has more of that anchoring ability. She always had that anchoring ability, and in future, maybe if Harleen is out of form, you can probably look at Deepti up the order. But for now, I think with Jemimah missing out, she still is weak from the viral fever that she was down with, and she will be missing out the third ODI as well. But yes, as I said, in her absence, I think Deepti played a crucial role. And what Deepti's 40 runs has done is we can go into the next match, which is the all-important decider, with a similar kind of, 5 batter, wicket-keeper batter, and then the 6 bowlers as well. The other thing, I think the third point is seamers striking early and the bowlers sharing, like every single bowler played their own part. Say for example, Kranti and Renuka, of course, started. Renuka, we all knew that Renuka being added to the bowling lineup is going to bolster the bowling lineup, and none of us were wrong. I mean, the first over she took out Georgia Wall, and then Kranti Gaur matched her. First over of Renuka's spell, that was the second over of the innings, because Kranti had opened the bowling. But in Kranti's second over, which was the innings' third over, she removed Alyssa Healy for the second time in the series. Healy will be, a little cautious maybe against Kranti when she comes out to bat on the 20th. But yes, those 2 wickets became extremely crucial. Also, every single bowler chipping in helped with not allowing Australians to build any partnership, which is absolutely significant, because we all know that Australia's batting depth is quite, it's quite a big batting lineup, but India kept chipping away at the wickets. So Kranti picked up 3, Deepti picked up 2, but rest of the bowlers also chipped in with a single wicket each. And Sneha Rana with some brilliant fielding, which takes me to my 4th positive, if that is the fielding, the energy in the fielding. Yes, we still have to solve the catches problem, but the one problem that we clearly solved yesterday was the ground fielding. The effort, the intensity, the pressure put in was more. Yes, of course, the bowlers bowled a fantastic line, but also the fielding. I think, that was wonderful to see the girls throwing themselves at the ball. They were not, and it was important because the outfield was slow. So once the ball went outside the inner circle, you ran behind the ball. Every single Indian fielder was aware of that, and that I think was fantastic. And one of the reasons we could actually never allow the Australians to get away. I think the fifth positive is Sneha Rana's 24. What that does is, it was a quick fire 24. Sneha Rana showed her capability as a batter. It's one thing to score in domestics, it's one thing to score in WPL, and completely another thing scoring against an Australian bowling lineup right in the death overs. Because what that essentially does is, you can keep that in mind, and maybe when Amanjot and Jemmy returns back, you can actually confidently go and in this playing 11 replace Arundhati for Amanjot. And maybe because of the innings that Sneha Rana played, this will now give the captain and the coach a little more confidence to go ahead and probably get in Jemmy in place of Radha, because Sneha Rana can give you that extra batting that you need towards the end. Of course, Snehashish and I have always spoken about Sneha Rana's finishing abilities. Of course, not you cannot directly call her as a finisher, but definitely there's a certain finishing ability. Those quick fire 20 ball 30s, she can get those, and that is exactly what she proved yesterday. So that, I think, is a huge positive right in front, in the right before the World Cup. It's something that will absolutely please the Indian team management. Well, I think Indian team and the Australian team both will be practicing tomorrow. We have still not got the schedule, but once we get the schedule, of course, I will be there following both the practice, press conference, the match. So stay tuned to Revsportz, because we are covering every single sport with equal passion, and that has been our mission. But you guys have to support us in the mission, much like you have done throughout. Just simply like, share, and subscribe Revsportz, Revsportz Hindi, and Revsportz Bangla, so that we can bring you the best of content and you can support us easily. You can watch us easily. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow again.